Okay, welcome everybody. So Claire Rees here from Intrabiz Sweden, and today I have an amazing speaker with me. He's Swedish, so we haven't had many Swedish speakers on so far, but this time we have got a Swedish speaker from, and his name is Björn Arvidsson. Now, this is the power of networking as well, because I connected with Björn on LinkedIn, and he just reached out to me, and we've had a couple of meetings, and I just feel that the connection there is absolutely great. Björn's a lovely guy. And if I just tell you a little bit about Björn, he's a developer in Svanstein REsport. I'm going to have to read off here, to an all-year activity resort with products like Lapland fishing and hunting club. He's the president of Skål International Stockholm, which is one of 400 clubs in a worldwide network of professionals in travel and tourism. And he's an experienced keynote speaker and writer of articles on both national and international tourism, with more than 20 years of consulting. He's a background from the airline industry, which has deep knowledge of pricing, infrastructure, and the power of statistics. Over the years, he has developed a way to set statistics into context and an ability to communicate the facts. He specializes in investment analysts, venture capital, destination capacity building, market analysis, segmentation, pricing, future projections in the travel industry, high knowledge throughout the travel industry, all transport modes, destination development, and airport management.
Wow, you're covering it all for me. I don't have to present myself anymore. Okay, thank you, Claire.
You're welcome. Bye.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for first thing first. I think everyone in Britain has a problem to pronounce my name correctly, even though we had one of the most famous tennis players coming from Sweden with the same name as mine, Björn. I don't know how you told me what my name was, but it was not very close to Björn anyway. So,
you know, it's so strange, because what I hear is not what comes out of my mouth sometimes. I thought I said it, Björn.
Yes, no? Björn. Well, you have a Welsh way to say it anyway, so okay, that's fine. I love it, Claire. Yes, I think you read all my career there, and for the past 4 or 5 years, I have those 2 passion projects. One was you mentioned building an international destination in a small place called Svanstein inside the Arctic Circle, and the aim was really to build the first 5-star hotel inside the Arctic Circle. But you can imagine with the pandemic going on right now, the number of investors for that kind of project and the hotel capacity is not really peaking right now. So it's not gone, but it's a little bit on ice for the moment. So we were looking into, changing the business model a bit, or looking in for more opportunities. But that you always change your business plan every time, and every year, so it's nothing special about that. But the other passion project is really being a president of Skål International Stockholm and being a member in a 14,000 member network of professionals in travel and tourism, which is really amazing, especially during times like this, when you can't meet, and the digital network is maybe more important than ever, and it's not only LinkedIn. You need your special networks as well. But Skål International is really a good tool right now. When you can't meet, you can go to trade shows. You cannot invite the tour operators for fam trips or go to other destinations and work out some new strategies. So it's really important to have this kind of digital networks. And I've been the president in Stockholm for the past 3 years. It's only one club in Sweden, and that's in Stockholm, but we are open for members from all over Sweden. So anyone interested in Sweden, they're welcome to talk to me.
Amazing. And you touched on the subject then, about in these times with COVID, and there's different we've had to take a different mindset, haven't we? Can you tell us, Björn, can you tell us how you, and with your background and everything, what sort of mindset have you had through the COVID, and then what changes you've had to make yourself survive or succeed? Depends. What do you see it as? Do you see yourself as surviving, or do you see yourself as succeeding?
I see the opportunities right now because everything is changing. This is the first time in travel tourism industry ever, I think, we have this kind of dramatic changes, both when it comes to destinations like your, Claire. You are changing your destination, you're changing your offer to your clients. You're looking into other ways to expose you both digitally or physically, and you're investing in new things surrounding your product. So the destinations are changing, but also the demand is changing right now because everyone is looking for, can I actually go to another country right now? Of course, right now we can't, but when can I visit Sweden next time? How can I do that in a safe way? Can I go back to the destinations I used to go back to? And when everything is changing, not only the destination, but also the transport modes, there are new airlines, the travel agency I usually buy my vacation package from doesn't exist anymore, or have changed names, or the persons I used to talk to is not there anymore. I mean, everything is changing, and also the airline industry. So everything is, you really have to see the opportunity into this, because there's so many things in the travel chain that is changing right now.
Yeah. And I know, especially with our business, when everything, because apart from Introbiz Sweden, we've got the dog sledding as well, and everything just came to an abrupt stop, and then you have to and then everybody had to, first of all, I think we panicked, and then there's a total panic, and then afterwards, then it was like, okay, and it's these mindsets, isn't it, of, right, we either sink or we're swimming. So now, we are not sinking, we're definitely going to swim. So you have to make those actual changes. And like you said, in the travel industry, I think, has been hit the most. That's the biggest sector that's been hit the most in this pandemic.
Yeah.
So all these changes that had to be made, what has been done actually in tourism to actually make it work? Can you tell us about that?
Well, you have to adopt any new changes that are coming out. You cannot expect anything go back to what it was. And you only will be defined in the future how you handle the situation right now and for the next coming years, because no one will ever look what you have done before 2020 or before the pandemic. Everything is from now and on. You have to adopt that kind of state of mind, actually, to look into the opportunities building up right now. And there is a lot of opportunities. As an analyst of everything that happens in the travel and tourism industry and in the world in general right now, it is very exciting times. This is kind of, as an analytic and observer of the trends, this is maybe the most exciting times I've been through as a consultant.
I love your wording, it's exciting time.
But it really is, yes.
Yeah, and I believe so as well. I believe that you see a lot of these things on social media, don't you, where 2020, just go away, I can't cope with you anymore. But actually, for our business, for like Introbiz Sweden, the online webinars have actually because it's a new company in Sweden, not it's been 11 years in the UK. Then actually by bringing it over here. Before the pandemic, I was thinking, how on earth am I going to connect with the whole of Sweden here? But then the pandemic came, and webinars. Everybody's doing webinars. Everybody's doing these online chats and promoting their business. And I feel, I don't know, maybe you can say that if this is right or wrong, this is actually going to increase business because you're hitting a huger target audience. Do you feel that is the same way?
Absolutely. It's just as important as the existing networks do you have, like Skål International. We've been around like for 85 years or something like that. But times like this, you really need that kind of digital network. But as you said, the number of digital interactions we are having today, and what it makes us do is take new contacts that we didn't have before in a very different way. Earlier, when we relied on those physical meetings on trade shows, or I can come to visit your destination, the digital meetings are increasing all the time. It makes it more easy to have new business partners or business meetings, and it's my feeling is also that I can access more high-level meetings today than I usually could do, because it's very easy to have like a 15 minutes meeting with someone in a very high position I was not normally accessing to. So it's very fascinating times in the way we're communicating as well.
Do you feel that it's onward and upward with the tourism industry now?
What it's
sorry, onward. Do you feel that, you know, that the tourism industry, and with all this, the digital networking, and after, you know, the COVID pandemic, it's maybe, I don't know, we don't know if it's evening out, we don't know if it's going to increase, we don't know if we're going to have a second wave, but do you feel that we're going to come out of this better than what we were before?
I wouldn't use the word better, but it will come up different for many reasons. Much of the capacity is moving, the way we are communicating or changing the need for travel, the way we are working with destination development are changing. We are looking into more maybe clients or customers or retailers or agencies closer to your destination and not the ones very far away. Everything is going to change. There's no part of the travel chain that really will look the same as it did before 2020. So I wouldn't say better. It must be better when it comes to the environment or the SDG targets, the climate changing. We have to work with those things much better than we did before the pandemic. So hopefully, if you talk about better, we will work with the environment in another way and a better way.
I totally agree. I totally agree with you over there. Do you have any good tips for for businesses out there, whether they're in travel tourism or they're actually not in travel tourism, you know, to keep in there, to keep them going during these times as well?
Well, the first thing must be you just have to accept that nothing will go back to normal. It's all about from now and on, and adopt the changes that will come, and everything is changing. And you have to see the opportunities in that, because there's no go back, there's only go new.
Mm-hmm. And I think one of the questions I was going to ask you at the beginning was just tell me a little bit about yourself as well. We've gone around it a different way, but it's not a problem. I love things like that. I love it when things don't sort of go to plan. I love my favorite thing is organized chaos. You know, you've organized something, but sometimes it doesn't go to plan, and that's the best way. But you know, we've heard all about, you know, a little bit about some of the stuff that you've done and some of your thoughts, you know, about the industry and everything. But tell us about yourself, Björn. What? You're learning.
Yep.
Learning. Yep. I've only lived here 8 years. There's room for improvement. So tell us about yourself then, about who are you, and you know, and why you're in this industry, and just tell us about yourself.
Well, I'm from Stockholm. I live in Stockholm. I live in Stockholm city center right now, and love to visit places like your Claire's and the fresh air and the bright sun. Today it's very gray in Stockholm. We have this I call it Stockholm gray. You know, it's hard to imagine there is really a sun somewhere there, but we have daylight anyway. I'm from Stockholm. I was born and raised just outside Arlanda Airport, and of course, close to an airport in the 80s. You start to work at the airport. You start to work with airlines, and I raised my family there. Now the kids have moved out, so it's just me and my wife here in Stockholm City, and of course, I'm passionate in travel and tourism. You can hear that, and that's why I'm with the network. That's why I'm talking about what's happening inside the Arctic Circle. That's why I'm talking about how the world is changing the travel tourism in general. And today I'm involved in several international projects using my digital network in those projects. So I have daily contacts with different parts of Europe or the world in those kind of projects, and try to develop new businesses that was not really ready for that kind of development before the pandemic. So it's quite exciting to actually use the times we are to develop new business. I'm convinced that everyone can do it, but everyone has to be aware at the same time that the level of travel for the next coming maybe 5 or 10 years will not be the same as we are used to. So you really have to adopt the changes. But back to myself, I'm a bad skier, but I love skiing. Even though I have been part of developing a Lapland fishing and hunting club, I'm a bad fisher and I don't hunt. So that's really, I love being out in the nature and all of that kind of lifestyle, but maybe I don't have access to it, and makes it a little bit hard for me to practice it. So maybe in my next life I will be living closer to your nature.
Yeah. Oh, you make me laugh there, because I remember going cross-country skiing for the first time. Never had any lessons, just stuck a pair of skis on my feet, and a guy came past me on a snow scooter. He went, "Oh, Claire, you're skiing?" And I went, no. I said, "I have skis on my feet."
Yes. Maybe we are on the same level
Yeah.
there.
I love it, because the thing is, you try your hand at everything, and you don't have to be great at everything, it's having a go that counts. And I always say that if you have a go of something and you don't succeed, then that's fine. At least you've tried.
Yes.
We can't be good at everything. So on that note, one of my questions were, I'll ask this is a not so nice question, but it's not it's a failure. Name one of your failures, because I believe failure is a first attempt in learning. It's not a negative thing, but it's something that we all feel is a negative thing. But I would like to get out there, that failure is a good thing because it's a learning curve. So what are failures?
Yes, and it's really and you should learn from them. They are a useful experience when you're moving forward, of course. And I'm kind of, in one of the projects, I'm writing a report right now about pop culture destinations, destinations that had a movie that you're going to visit the place just because you saw a lot of murders in Sandhamn archipelago. You want to go to Sandhamn because the place looks beautiful. It's very far out in the archipelago, and of course there's a lot of destinations that have not successed in develop destinations out of a famous movie or famous happening or famous music theater or film or whatever. So there's a number of destinations trying to move into build destinations out of a pop culture happening, and they have not successed. And there's a lot of things to learn about that, because we're always trying to look at the success story, and it's very hard to build a new destinations like, I don't know, Mamma Mia the Party is a very famous party going on for several years in both Stockholm and Gothenburg. They actually opened up a Mamma Mia the Party in London just 1 month before the pandemic, and you can imagine that have closed down right now. But anyhow, that kind of pop culture destination building is really making us go to the destinations even more, because now it's not only London. We have to go to see the Mamma Mia the party in London, and of course Mamma Mia the island in Greece. You can imagine the number of Swedes going to that Greece island just to be in that kind of environment, and go to the taverna that most of the film is taking place. But of course there's a lot of failures in that as well, so it's not easy to build a pop culture destination in that way.
Mm-hmm.
But failures, there's a lot of failures, and then for myself, I still haven't made Svanstein an international destination. It's not a failure, but you take new positions and then you rewrite the business plans. You make new meetings with investors trying to get to the next level all the time. So it's not failing when you don't get where you want to go. It's just a part of the process in my mind.
Absolutely. I always believe that. And I always believe that, if you don't get where you want to, where you plan to, there's always another way. There's always other ways, there's always other ways to reach your goals. And as long as you think it, and you work hard at it, and you are out there and you don't give up, then eventually you will succeed where you want to go. Most of the things that I never thought I'd actually be living in Sweden, running a dog sledding company, well, having two companies, bought two companies. And actually at one point I remember we had a tin of tuna in the cupboard. That's all we had to eat, and we were like, this is the end, that we failed.
No, it's not a fail.
No, but that's what you think. It's desperate times. You think, I failed here. I've got a tin of tuna. I don't know how I'm going to feed the dogs. But the next day, the hunters had left a load of dog bones and meat for us to feed the dogs. And something happened, and that was about 3 years. 3 years into our business, and we're still going. So yeah, it's great. Fabulous, lovely. And what I would really like to get from you as well is, what is your golden nugget?
Golden nugget. Well, my really success story would be, if Svanstein would be an international destination in some years from now, that would be really amazing, because it's a very beautiful small village, and the nature, it's like yours. It's a 5-star nature. We want to add 5-star products into that. I think everything is there. So I've been putting in some years into that product, and it's a passion product. I really love the place, so it will be nice to actually make it happen in some way. But for the moment, everyone is adjusting all your business plans, all your visions of what is going to start that process. So it's exciting times, really.
I know. I was excited before. Now you've made me even more excited. Now it's fabulous. So, okay, it's been absolutely amazing talking to you, Björn, and I hope that we can do future collaborations together. I'm really looking forward to hopefully working with you in the future. But in the meantime, if anybody wants to get hold of you, then how can they get hold of you?
Well, I'm very easy accessible on LinkedIn or Facebook, or just email to racerbjorn@gmail.com. But the LinkedIn profile is very open, and I almost accept any invitations for connections there. So just please send an invitation.
Fabulous. Thank you so much for joining me today. It's been so interesting. I could have spoken to you for ages, but I didn't want it to go on so long.
Thanks for having me, Claire. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you.